Julia about a super interesting topic, which is starting a food-based business or a vegan business or a vegan business, and just some challenges that people will have. Hello, and I'm really excited about this topic today. Yeah, so I will. Yeah, so actually, the reason. Oh, something is up. Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you. Hi.
Ah.
So awesome. Okay,
Oh
now it works. I
no.
don't know what was up, but now it's great.
Yeah, it should work. So, how are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Also.
I love your new.
Huh? Thank you.
I
Yeah, I was at the hairdresser because I had it long, and then I was like, for me, it's always the cycle because I have it long, and then I cut it, and then it's short, and then I let it grow, and then the one moment comes and I cut it. The cycle of hair. How are you?
Yeah, good, good. I just came back from a long bike ride and excited for this talk now.
Awesome. Yeah, it's so fun because we're talking in English, but we're both German, so strange but cool. So today's topic I already told the audience was about starting a vegan business or a raw vegan business, and what was your motivation for giving it a try?
That's a great question. I I think similar than you, I just felt so incredibly good from eating
Yeah.
this way that I just couldn't help but wanting to share it. And then on top of that, I also discovered yoga a while ago, like 6 or 7 years ago, something like that. And like I really want to share this with people because I think when you feel this like good about something, then there's just like a spark inside of you that just like wants to come out. And yeah, and also I want to say you also motivated me and inspired me to do this because I remember back in the days I was looking for German raw vegans and on YouTube and I was searching and then I found your channel and immediately loved it because like you showed me that I don't have to like be super old to be able to do this. Like even if I'm young, I can share my own experience, share what I've learned along the way, and yeah. So you were also an inspiration.
Thank
What
you.
about you?
For me, it was the same. So I think when I turned vegan, it changed so much for me. Like it was this completely different mindset shift, and it felt like you step out of the matrix in a way, that you just from one day to the next you see life completely different, and that was just such a huge mindset shift. And also over time, over the weeks, over the month, my health improved a lot, and I had so much energy, so I was like, this is the best thing ever. And I wanted to help people too. And as you said, I think in Germany specifically, raw veganism is really more something for older people, and it's not so fresh and not so cool. So I wanted to, also show people that no matter the age, you can do it, and it's really cool. So that was the inspiration. So similar. Yeah. Yeah,
So cool.
but
Thanks for sharing.
but it is a journey. But what were some challenges that you faced, or some things where you think, oh, that was a little bit hard? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good question. So I think one big limiting belief is, and I'm struggling with this, that I think I need to be this perfect version. Like I already need to be accomplished in order to help others, in order to share. I always feel like, well, if I still have flaws or my health isn't where it could be,
Yeah.
or even my appearance, because also that improves the longer you are on this lifestyle. I just feel like, okay, then I can't share it. I need to be accomplished, you know?
Yeah.
Then one limiting belief was also to just stand in the camera and not stand in the camera, stand in front of the camera and show myself. And you know, I don't know, like when I used to be a teenager, I always didn't like listening to my voicemails when I sent them to people. And it was kind of the same feeling in the beginning when I started filming myself. I was like, oh my God, like, this is so cringe. But I just uploaded it anyway because I was like, okay, I took the time to film this video now, so I'm gonna upload it. And then more and more people started liking what I was doing, and that really helped me to overcome that because I saw, okay, this is helpful for people. This has a positive impact on someone else's life, even if just one person watches all my videos that I put out and nobody else, and that person gets benefit from it, then it was already worth it for me. So yeah. What about yourself? What was
I
the
love
challenge?
that. Yeah, for sure. So many limiting beliefs, and I still struggle with them. So I still have some, but I had the same one that you have, kind of the fear of putting myself out there, and kind of the fear of being judged. And I was judged a lot, so it's not. But in the end, I noticed even if people judge me, it still doesn't change in the end. You can still put out videos, and what people think or not think, in the end, it doesn't matter. Like, everyone just does their own thing, and it really doesn't matter. So yeah, I think that's for sure. In the beginning, one limiting belief that I had to overcome. Also, what you said, I had the same one, which was I need to be perfect in order to help people, and that is also not the case. And that's something that I've learned, and probably still learning. But is that no person is perfect. Like, each person has certain flaws, or like each person has some amazing character traits and also some flaws that they want to work on. And yeah, so I think that's like overcoming that perfectionist mindset and saying, okay, this content is not perfect, but I still worked on it so I can put it out, was, yeah, a huge mindset shift. But I think it's also interesting because I think sometimes they can come back. So sometimes for some years I think, oh, I managed, and then they can come back. But yeah, but I have more. One thing also, was, but I struggle so much with in terms of entrepreneurship, is that it's a completely different mindset than an employee mindset. Because as an employee, you kind of, you do your best, but you're in the safe space, which means that you work and you just do your best and you get paid, and no matter if you do a good job or not a good job, usually you get paid the same. And I think as an entrepreneur, it's just a whole different mindset of like, it's your responsibility. If you don't get the job done, nobody will. So it's just a huge different change for taking responsibility for your own character development, for your own actions, and for the value that you put out. So yeah, and I think I sometimes struggle with this shift between being an employee and just do what you're being told, and actually stepping into entrepreneurship and creating the guidelines myself in a way. Yeah, I love that.
Wow, yeah, that's such an interesting observation. Thank you for sharing that. Also made me realize that is also a reason why I started this, because
Yeah,
even though I do enjoy the benefits like employment gives me,
yeah,
that, you know, I get my paycheck every month, I don't have to worry about that. And, you know, usually it's also very like chill, laid back, to just do the work, to just generate. Whereas if you're self-employed, you need to get up, like you need to do the things.
exactly. Yeah,
However, for me, that is a benefit because I like to do the things when I want to do and what I want to do. So that is a reason for me that always motivates me and keeps me going, even when it gets really tough. I'm
yeah,
like, Julia, you want to be your own boss, right? Like,
yeah.
I don't really enjoy being told what to do and especially when to do it. So that's why I also decided to go into this journey. And Tessa also just wrote, I benefit so much from both of your channels. And thank you,
Thanks.
Tessa. That's so, so nice. And this is really what I feel like keeps me going. I don't know, do you feel the
Yeah.
same?
Yeah, for sure. I think that both, being an employee and being an entrepreneur, they both have pros and cons, and it really comes down to your character as well. Because I think that for some people, for example, no, I don't want to, but some people, I think they generally work much better as an employee. They just go to work, get a paycheck. They don't have to think really. They just um, fulfill the task. And I think, at least for me, I think the character that I have, I really like to like I fit much more into entrepreneurship with thinking and with trying and making my own rules in a way. So yeah, I think it depends a lot on the character. Yeah, for sure. And I think it has also entrepreneurship, the big pro that it has is that you can continuously learn. You can decide what you work on in a way, which is amazing. You can create the rules, and also, which is really big, is that you create something that lasts. And if you're an employee, I mean, depends which profession, but in many professions you actually work for a company, so you make other people rich, and in a way also you get paid always less, not always, but often less that you actually produce, because the company needs to make profit. And if you have your own company, you can actually, once you manage and make it right, you can actually have exponential growth and also have much higher profit gains from it. So I think that's awesome, being an entrepreneur.
Yeah, that is such a good point. And that reminds me of another benefit, that when you work on something you're truly passionate about, I just feel like there is like a second vessel of energy that stands there for me to take from. Versus if I'm working for something where the values are not 100% in alignment
Wow.
with what I believe in and what I feel like, then I always feel like it requires so much more energy, so much more effort to actually get things done.
Yeah.
Versus when it just comes from being 100% in alignment with what I believe in.
Exactly.
So that is a huge benefit of entrepreneurship for me as well.
And I love what you say, because exactly now the past month, it was because I moved to the Canary Islands and it was so much on my nervous system to figure it out, and also a lot of trauma came up. I said, okay, I will take a break from my business. And then it was the huge question, okay, what kind of job do I want to do? What jobs are out there? And what is actually possible doing it in the Canary Islands? Because here the economic situation is not that good. So yeah, a lot of things. But it was exactly like that, being now in the space of figuring out what I want to do. And I think that for me, my business is ultimately really what I want to do, because it reflects my personality. And I think if you work for someone else, as you said, like it has to be, you have to be really lucky that your personality can kind of fit into that company. And for me, for example, I really like marketing, but if I have to sell it or market a product that I'm not passionate about, it is so difficult. And it just feels like, I think there are some people who can do it. They can just work a job that they don't really like so much, but it's okay for them. But I think I'm a person, if I do work and I don't enjoy it or I'm not motivated by it, it really is so hard on my system. And yeah, and I really suffer doing work that I feel like is not meant for me, or when it just feels like a struggle, and my mental health also goes down. So yeah.
We relate to that.
Did you ever work a job where you were like, oh, I don't like this job at all? Or
yeah, in my teenage years when I was saving up for my gap year, I was like working 2 jobs at the same time. So on the weekdays, I would work at like a assembly line, and on the weekends I would work at the bakery. And I think the reason I didn't enjoy either of those jobs was because it was just so much, but I just wanted to save up as much money as I could to go traveling. But yeah, I mean, it was just generally very boring work. I just felt like I wasn't really making an impact in the world, selling bread and like assembling different things on the and I felt like I wasn't actually fulfilling my potential, because I always felt like there's so much inside of me that wants to come out. And then just standing there on an assembly line, I just felt like I had to suppress so much inside of me. But later on, I found the opportunity to work with people who have disabilities, and that actually brings a lot of joy. I mean, of course, there are challenges, I think, in any job. Like sometimes I'm bumping my head against the wall. I'm like, okay, I gotta you know, but it's very rare, and the majority is just like I feel super fulfilled by helping others, serving others, because I feel like that's what we're ultimately here for,
Yeah.
to serve others and be there for others. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
What
that's
about
awesome.
you?
Me too. I mean, I worked so many jobs that I hated. I started when I was like 12. I started delivering the newspaper, and I hated it because I'm from Germany, so the weather was super bad a lot of the time, and you had to be in the cold weather, and that's when I noticed I hate every kind of physical job. And my parents, they do a little bit like with real estate, so sometimes I try to help them with like painting, and I hated everything about it. So I'm just not a person who likes to work with my hands or physically. I hate it. So that's what I hated. I also worked in a bakery. I also didn't like that because, as you said, it was just I think I really like to use my brain. I loved school, so I love to learn, and I love to teach, and I love to yeah, kind of that aspect, to use my brain. So that was a wrong fit. And now actually I'm teaching languages, and that is online because I can do it from the Canary Islands. But yeah, so for now it's okay, but it's also, I know it's not what I meant to do. Like, I think I really meant to have my own company and help people with that.
But so awesome with the language.
What do you say?
Awesome. I think that's so awesome with the language teaching, and also with working with people with disabilities. And I think if I had to give like a tip to someone who maybe wants to build their own business, it would be to begin by having already like a steady flow of income and build your
Yeah,
business while you have that, so you don't have any pressure.
yeah,
And let that side job where you earn your steady income go when you have enough money with your own business.
exactly.
And then on top of that, I think it is really helpful to have that other stream of income be something that is in a similar vibration or in a similar way, a similar vibe as what you're going to do. So now you're teaching English. It's very similar to, you know, teaching people how to eat a raw vegan
Yeah,
diet, or how to accomplish anything like. And I've always felt like that was the reason why it came very easy to me, because I've already gotten this experience with helping people with disabilities. And even though it is different still, you know, but it's the same kind of energy of serving others, being there for others, as now what I'm doing with the one-on-one support that I'm offering for people.
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
that was a
I love that advice. I think that's one of the most important advice, because I think, at least in my Instagram, there's a lot of or ads about people promoting, yes, you can start your online business in one day, and then you will have like millions of euros or dollars in just 1 week. And usually it's not like that, because there's just so much that you need to learn. And I think if you have that steady income, it's so helpful. And that's also kind of a crisis situation that I had, because I had a job in marketing, and then because I came to the Canary Islands, I had to quit that job, or I decided to quit that job, because I wanted to stay in the Canary Islands, and it was a German company, and they didn't allow me to stay. So I said, okay, we'll take a break. And then I was thinking, okay, maybe I will just go full time on this nutrition business. But then it really, I felt like I was so overwhelmed, because the problem was that it was not consistent income. So sometimes I had income, other times I didn't, and I felt just completely out of balance. And then now that I have this teaching, freelancing, I feel more stable again. So yeah, I would also recommend, if you, especially if you have like children or family, or you have money issues or something, really like have a stable income, and then do this business first as a side project. Because usually for most people, if you have not already worked in a company, and you don't know how business work, or even you don't know your field, it does take a lot of time to learn everything, and it's normal if it takes a lot of time. And if your job, you put so much pressure on yourself, and it's just, I think a lot of people, myself included, I had a lot of wrong expectations on how much it actually takes, how long it actually takes to learn everything. And yeah, so
Yeah, for sure. I agree.
yeah. But I wanted to ask, what is something that you enjoy about having your own business? Like you said, you wanted, like, you have the freedom to make decisions. That's something that you really enjoy.
Yeah. So what I really love is to just teach and to share my knowledge. I really enjoy packaging like my experience, what I've learned along the way into YouTube videos, or even when I'm working with people one-on-one,
Yeah,
to like find out what it is for them that they need to switch, because it's individual for everyone. And I feel like when I help others, I learn so much about how things work, and also about myself. I feel like I'm discovering so much about myself by also helping others. So it's always I'm always fascinated. And I also decided that's how I always want to remain within my work. I always want to feel fascinated, and I don't want it to ever get boring. And I think that could very easily happen when you have like a job that is very repetitive. So
yeah, yeah,
that's also the reason why I decided to kind of go into this.
yeah. I think that's also one reason why I love entrepreneurship, because you can keep growing. And I think in a business, when you work for someone else, you you cannot sometimes decide, and then you have maybe a certain role, and then at one point it becomes repetitive, and you say, "Hey, I would love to learn something new," but maybe there's no possibility for you to go and try out a different role. So you're stuck in this position, and yeah, and I think I was there a little bit with this marketing job, at least for that company, because it became super repetitive, and I was also not doing good because I really love to learn, and it really makes me so happy when I can learn and when I can grow. And I think that's so cool about a business, is also that it is connected to your personal growth as well. That the more, I don't want to say the better person you become, but the more limiting beliefs you can overcome. Or, for example, I had also a really bad mindset around money, around charging for my service. But if you manage to overcome those limiting beliefs, like, it will also benefit your company. So yeah. Did you have
Yeah.
did you ever have had those struggles with like money mindset, or with not really thinking what you should charge, or with that sort of situation?
For some reason, not, because I started out in real life. So I did my yoga teacher training, and then I started doing the one-on-one yoga classes with people in my town.
Yeah.
And I always knew how much like energy and love and everything I put into this, and how much of a life-changing experience these yoga classes were for the people, that I always was very confident in like charging money for that, even though then I didn't charge much at all. I think it was something like 30 euros per hour or something. Absolutely insane. But I mean, I wanted to get practice, so it was fine. But then when I got into online, like there was a very short moment where I was like, can I really like charge as much because it's just online? I think a reason was the whole, because it's online, like, you know,
Yeah.
it's on Zoom. So that's why I can't charge anything. But now I really know the value. And I think also it comes with experience. It just takes time. But now that I have seen what I'm not selling an hour of like working with someone. I'm selling all the knowledge that I've gathered throughout the years,
Yeah.
plus also for them a life-changing experience. It's not that 1 hour, it's really the transformation that happens after the coaching that we're selling. So that's something that really helped me. And then also just knowing that if I don't earn money with this, then I won't be able to do that, and I won't be able to help people. So like it's just a no-brainer for me that I have to charge something, because otherwise it won't be something that will continue growing. And yeah, so, and then also that again circles back to the whole thing with having another side income that's steady, and that way not being reliant. If someone cannot
Yeah.
afford, then I also don't stress about it at all. I'm like, that's completely fine. Like if I were in their situation, I maybe would choose the same. So I think being okay with that also really helps. So yeah.
Yeah.
And one more, I've also noticed that when I charge, then I can give so much more. Like energetically, I can be so much more there for people than if I just said I'm doing it for free. I don't
Yeah.
know if you can, but
Yeah, I agree with everything that you said for sure. And I think that at least one thing that I came across from like potential clients or from people, they really judge the system of coaching, and I can understand them to a certain point, maybe because they don't have maybe information about what nutrition coaching actually is. But I think it's similar to therapy. And if you pay for a therapy service, you don't just go to a therapist. I mean, hopefully, if you have a good one, to talk about your problems for 1 hour, it's actually to really for the therapist, because he has so much knowledge about those different aspects, for him to intersect in what you say and to actually say, okay, this is the point, and this is maybe a limiting belief that you have, that we have to switch, and here's something that you have to change. And this can completely fast track, and it can like help you so much. And I think that's like completely similar with nutrition coaching or with helping people in that way, is that it's like you don't just pay for 1 hour of talking, you pay really for someone to listen to you and to say, hey, this is specifically what you need to work on. And yeah, I think that's just a whole different perspective, and I think some people, they don't have that, but that's also not my client, so
yeah. Maybe they also just don't really need it because they are able to find the answers themselves, or maybe, you know, the connection between, for example, me and that person who doesn't want to pay is not the one that is needed right now. And then I think it's really important to just like say, okay, that's fine, and then to surrender to that.
yeah,
So.
I love that. I think that's also a huge lesson that I needed to learn, is to not take things so personally, because I took things very personally. I think that, for example, when I worked for that like in that marketing um company, there was a certain barrier, because I was thinking, okay, if I work for that company, it's not my own products, so it was so easy. For example, I was also sometime in customer service. When a client had like a complaint, I could so easily just answer that complaint because it was not my product. And then when I had my own product, basically, which was my coaching service, and someone had a complaint, it was so hard for me not to take it seriously. And that was a huge lesson for me, to separate it also from myself. Like, this is my product, but this is not me. And yeah, huge huge lesson to not take it so personally. And in the end, not everyone is the right fit. Like, not everyone is meant to work with me, and that's completely fine too. Yeah.
And then again,
I don't know.
to the whole topic of the business makes you grow so much, because that lesson
Yeah.
about not taking things personally, you can now also apply that in all the other areas in your life. So yeah, you just grow at such a fast pace, I
Yes,
feel.
yes,
So
yes, I think so too. And actually, for me, because I think the business was also really connected to healing from trauma, because I had, yeah, just some things in my childhood, and it came also with my business to a point where I just broke, and now I'm doing a lot of therapy and actually heal a lot of those things that happened to me. And so it's really connected, and I think that once I can, like, now I like get over a certain amount of healing, I can really go back to the business with a whole different mindset. And yeah, like not taking it personally, and yeah, like differentiating my work from my character, from my person. Yeah, it's really connected, and it's beautiful. You really grow. And I think if you are an employee, I mean, always depends what type of employee, but I think in some jobs you just do your job, and it has like, you don't really grow in that area maybe. Yeah.
yeah, I've never thought about that, but that makes so much sense. And I really think that's why I feel so like such a desire to do this, because of, yeah, my willingness to just grow and
learned.
expand.
Yeah, I think I really admire you because I feel like you come from such a social point. Like you're really, you want to help people, you want to improve people's lives, and it's really cool. And I think that's so awesome also for people because at least that's what I came across, that people have maybe sometimes prejudices against other people, um, like, or against other coaches, that I think, oh, this coach only wants to make money or wants like and doesn't really care about the clients. But I think that's not true. I think that many people who create their own business, they really create it because they care much and they really want to help people. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, I think
Otherwise, you won't be able to sustain it. I mean, yeah, you can make money as a coach and just do it for the money, but I don't think it's going to be a sustainable business that's going to be able to last, like, without you burning yourself out if you're just doing it for the money. Because,
exactly.
again, that passion, that desire of wanting to help others, that's what's really going to fuel you, because it is, like, it can be a tough business as well.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, also, um what is your opinion on social media? Because I have like a love-hate relationship with social media, and sometimes that's also when I was thinking, should I really do this business or just do something completely else? Because I feel like social media, it's so positive in so many ways, like connecting with you, but sometimes I just get so annoyed with it. And what is your opinion about social media? How do you handle it?
I don't know if I've found like such a good way of handling it. I'm still also very attached to like these numbers that there are on social media, likes and views and all these things. And I
Yeah.
think they do that on purpose, like
Yeah.
that we feel stimulated by it with the
Yeah.
red like circles and everything. I do really like YouTube because I find
Me
it much
too.
easier to not spend so much time on it. And if I do spend time on YouTube, it's well spent time because I'm really consciously sitting down and I only watch videos that I know, okay, I'm going to watch this all the way through. I
Yeah.
mean, sometimes it's a really bad video, I'm not going to watch it, but usually I watch videos all the way through. And kind of movie, I sit down and I watch a few YouTube videos. Versus on Instagram, I feel like it's really a time drainer. Like, I
Yeah.
usually don't use Instagram that much, but right now I have downloaded it again because I wanted to connect with all of you guys
Yeah.
and obviously share about this amazing opportunity with the Raw Vegan Bundle. But
Ah, yeah,
usually
yeah.
I'm not. Yeah, I was also
Yeah.
just thinking.
Oh, the internet is a little bit.
Oh, is it?
Ah, yeah, I completely forgot. So for those of you who don't know, the Raw Vegan Bundle is going on. It's an amazing offer, and Julia contributed two amazing courses, which is so cool. It's in a super affordable price. It's and a super amazing offer. So if you don't know, for sure check it out because it's only going to be available for I think 1 or 2 more days.
No, I think not even one day.
Oh.
It's, yeah, tomorrow it's gonna be gone forever. Something
Oh
like that.
no! Oh no! Yeah, so grab it. Today's the
Yeah,
last
fear of
chance.
everything. Yeah, and you have
Awesome.
an amazing recipe in the group book as well,
Yeah, the
right?
group book, it's really cool. It's like a collection of a lot of no, a lot, almost everyone or everyone. And it's about raw vegan desserts, which is really cool. Yeah, I have like banana fruit rolls, which is really cool, and they're all low fat, so you can eat a lot of that, which is really awesome. Yeah.
Excited to try. Thank you so much for sharing. And oh yeah, and you can get that in Eva's link in bio
Oh,
or
yeah.
in mine. But to get back to the social media, so
Ah, social
usually I
media.
don't use Instagram, and I'm still not sure if I want to actually go all in on Instagram or if I just want to keep it like as a side. But then, like right now, I'm really focusing mainly on YouTube, and I do
Yeah,
feel that time well spent because
yeah,
now that I don't have Instagram, my screen time went up like 2 hours a day or
yeah,
something because just because I have the app on my phone, I then open it and then I check out some things. Whereas if I usually I don't even have Instagram on my phone. Like I download it when I want to share something and then I delete it again, and that does work quite well for me. But yeah, I think it's like a blessing and a curse at the same time, social media, because I do love the aspect about being able to share and express myself through it. Like, I don't know, 20 years ago, I wouldn't have been able to share what I have learned with so many people at the same time, because I'm sure the people in my community, either I wouldn't be able to find the ones who are interested in what I have to share, or there wouldn't be anyone who is interested in it. So that's why I really love social media. And I always try and focus as much as I can on that positive aspect about it. But sometimes I'm also, again, bumping my head against the wall, like,
Yeah,
how can this be like so addictive and everything and so stimulating? And yeah, so
I
how
agree.
do you feel about it?
I'm completely the same. Like for me, also, I love YouTube the most because I feel it's the less addictive, and you actually learn. You learn from it, or you can learn from it. So I love YouTube the most. Also, I feel like that YouTube is the most authentic. I think that at least a super fun story when I there was in the past some month ago, I saw a picture on Instagram which was like a couple and they were like so cute together. And then 2 weeks later, after I saw the picture, they broke up. And then when I saw the same YouTube video, they were actually really talking about the struggles that they've been through. So I feel like, I don't know why, but on Instagram, it's really people want to portray this amazing life and wow, it's so great. But on YouTube, you actually have more time to explain it and also to explain like the reality of it. So I love that about YouTube, that it's a little bit more real. And I think on Instagram also, as you said, and that's also one big struggle that I have with social media is that um, kind of marketing, how you sell is really, or what people naturally, because people are humans are kind of animals, what they click is really like this huge, how do you say, like explosions, or I have gained 2 million followers in 10 days. Like that's what people click. So extremes, so extremes or hate or just everything in extreme. And I think that I'm not like that. I really like that balanced approach, and I think that on YouTube you can at least a little bit more have that balanced approach. And yeah, and I think it's really curious because very often on YouTube or in social media, what gets more clicks is not um like, or what gets more clicks is more like I did a 60-day water fast, and what doesn't get so much clicks is how to have a balanced approach with food. So I think that that's one struggle that I have. Like I really want to have, like I'm all about like just having balance and having a really foundational, really good approach with food. And I'm not for all of this like crazy 60-day water fasts. And I think that's one struggle of me, that just the people who promote crazy things, they just get so much more likes. And then people who actually promote like a healthy foundation, they don't get so much likes. So I think that's also my struggle. And yeah, of course, like that addictive thing and all of that. And it's so easy, especially on Instagram, to scroll and just get lost, and to use it also, at least I, like if I have a difficult emotion that I don't want to feel, sometimes it's so easy for me to just check on Instagram and then just try to scroll to not feel. And yeah, so
Thank you
that's
for
the thing.
sharing. Yeah, I agree. I think also Tessa's writing, she likes YouTube most, but it's not that popular. And I actually think YouTube and realness and rawness and depth is becoming more popular
I
again.
hope.
Like the perception that YouTube is kind of growing again. And yeah, I also, just because of the fact that people have to watch ads or a lot of ads on Instagram to be able to see my content, I don't really want to use it as much, versus on YouTube you can like do an ad blocker, and then people I'm hoping people who are watching my videos are doing that so they're not watching the ads.
I didn't
Because
even know you can do an ad blogger.
yeah, it's called
Oh,
uBlock Origin. You can put that on your browser and then you never have to watch any ads.
what?
Um, Or you can just get like a Brave browser for your phone. It's called Brave, an app,
Okay,
or
I
for
tried
your
it.
laptop. And like even when I'm on my phone, have to watch any ad Instagram because yeah, you don't have to watch that. And also, I don't know if you know, that's like a new platform.
Cool. Wait, the internet, I think my internet is struggling.
Ah,
What? So, what
okay.
was the last one? The internet was a little bit for me.
School is kind of emerging right now, and I really like school because there's no ads whatsoever, and
What is
there's also
cool?
no. It's like a platform for communities. There are different
Ah, cool.
communities, a bit like Facebook, but there's zero ads, and it's not as addictive. It's really just to share and like, yeah, it's really for education mainly, but that's what I personally use social media
Yeah,
for education inspiration. So that's why I feel like I see a lot of potential in that platform. It's still quite new, but it's booming a lot.
yeah.
So yeah, that's why.
Yeah,
Ooh.
that's awesome. Yeah, I personally I really prefer that long term content a lot more than those short videos. That's also I never downloaded TikTok because I just don't like it. And I was so sad. I remember, I think maybe 1 or 2 years ago, they introduced those short form videos on YouTube, and I was like, no, because I think it's so easy to waste time on those short form videos because usually you cannot learn so much from 2 seconds of video. So yeah, I really hope that now we switch back to more long form content, which is much more helpful.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. There's also an extension for the browser where you can turn off the
No
shorts and
way!
turn
What do you,
on. That's called like I think you just need to check in the extension like of your browser. There are extensions, right? And then you can find something like YouTube recommended or something, and then you can turn off
ah,
a bunch of things. You can also turn off the recommendations that you have on the side.
no
And
way! That's so
yeah,
cool.
it's so awesome. So that way I really feel like I can actually use YouTube in a healthy way, and
Yeah,
that's why I kind of love it so much. And yeah, but even if you don't use all these things, I find that YouTube again is more like less
yeah,
stimulating,
yeah.
like not so overwhelming as well. I feel very overwhelmed on Instagram
Me too.
because there are so many things.
Me too. Yeah, I also sometimes there are some YouTubers, probably more for the younger generation, but also for our generation that create videos with so many cuts and so many buttons and edits. And sometimes I just watch the video and I'm like, over, like it's too much. It's over. Yeah,
Yeah,
no, I'm,
yeah, like
I'm more.
every 2 seconds.
Yeah, and I'm like, whoa. But that's kind of what captures the attention. But I'm still like, it's much. Okay. Another question, or how much time do we have now? Is
Not the 10 minutes, something like that.
perfect. So another question. What do you think about mm, 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 mm. how do you think about comparing yourself to other people? Do you ever have that comparison, or did you find a healthy method how to stop it?
Mm, yeah, I definitely do feel like um everyone compares them. um and now you're back. Can you hear me?
Sorry. Yeah, I think my internet just
Ah,
stopped, but I hope now it's better. Yeah.
okay. Um so I often compare myself to people who are just more successful on social media than me, not necessarily anything having to do with my personality or anything
Yeah.
like that. But yeah, I definitely compare myself. And then again, I feel like my desire to share and express myself creatively is so strong that it still always overweighs and kind
Yeah.
of forces me to just surrender to that like need to compare myself all the time and then just do it anyway. And yeah, what about you? How do you feel about
Me
comparison?
too. I think maybe also comparison is something natural that it just happens for humans. And I think maybe if you have the right mindset, you can make it a little bit less, but I still have it for sure. I think for me also how I compare myself was a lot with that business aspect that I was just seeing. I was bombarded. I don't know why, but my algorithm on Instagram was that kind of uh, earn money online or create your online business in 2 days or something. So I think just subconsciously I really got demotivated because I was thinking everyone has it figured out and I'm like here stumbling and falling. But logically I know that it's not like that. I know it takes a lot of time. So yeah, that's important. And I think also what really helps me with that is to see that you only see like one little aspect of that person's life, but you don't really see the whole story of it. And that really helps me too, if to see, okay, you're so much more than just the business aspect, or you're so much more than just the physical aspect. And it's not fair to you also to compare yourself because you're just a whole different person, different backstory, different personality. And yeah, and I think now I actually have that recently because with some friends that I have from school, because they have just a completely different path than me. Like I was traveling and I live in the Canary Islands, and I was thinking yesterday, for example, for a little bit, oh, like they already are so much further ahead in their career, quote unquote. But then I was thinking, I would never want that career. Like one very good friend of mine, he just became a teacher, and I'm like, thank God I'm not a teacher because it's an amazing job for a lot of people, but it just is not the right fit for me. So I think it's so important for me to always remember it's better to go slowly, but in a direction that is actually right for you, than to go really fast and then after 10 years realize you went so far in the wrong direction. And yeah, so that's what I try to remember.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing. And I can relate so well. And I think it's so awesome that you are living your life and you're following your dream. Because I think many people would actually trade with you just because you're actually, like, even now with the Canary Islands, you're doing it, even though maybe, as you said in the beginning, you didn't know yet how you're going to do
Yeah.
it and what your source of income is going to be. You just did it anyway and you figure it out along the way. And I think that's really courageous and really, really nice. And I also think it feels way better than to just do something. I mean, maybe for that person, it is the right thing with the teaching. But yeah, I think it's nice that you asked yourself that question of, would I actually be happy in that position?
Exactly.
And
Exactly. Yeah, because it's so easy to think, oh, like this person has it figured out, but then no, I'm a completely different person, completely different personality. So you cannot really, like logically, you cannot really compare two people because you have just so many different interests and background. And also backstory matters too. Like that's something because now I do a lot of therapy. Because I was always like, yeah, if you want something, just go after it. And if you don't manage, it's kind of your fault. So I was really bad attitude towards that. And through therapy, I learned a lot that actually your upbringing, it does matter. It does limit you in a lot of ways. So you just, depending on how you grow up, you just don't have the same um, conditions. So it's just a lot to take in consideration. Like someone who, for example, got bullied at school will have it just much harder to socialize than someone who is always really popular. So still always go after your dreams, but also consider it, okay, maybe I have gone through hard things that make certain things much harder for me. And that really helped me too, and stop that comparing because yeah, each person is different, different personality and different background, different upbringing. Yeah.
yeah,
So
that's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
Awesome. So then, I just have one more question. And what is like your favorite food, or what is your favorite fruit or vegetable or
Mm-hmm.
meal? Yeah.
Okay, so my favorite fruit is a really tough call between honeydew melons
Mm-hmm.
and apples. But honeydew probably wins because it's just pretty available year round and it's pretty cheap also. So I really love that. But yeah, mangoes. And then my favorite vegetable, either cucumber, if that counts as a vegetable, or lettuce. I really like every kind of lettuce, really. If it's like not bitter, I don't like bitter
Yeah.
lettuce, but like so lettuce and cucumber and mango, and then my favorite meal is just a meal of abundant mangoes. Favorite meal, it's zucchini noodles with my raw vegan bolognese. Like
Ah,
I have that
amazing.
at least 3 times a week.
Yeah, I think I even have that recipe because I was in a bundle, I think 1 or 2 years ago, and I think you put it in the bundle, so I have it.
Yeah,
I know that I have it.
that I'm not sure actually. No, I don't think I have shared it in a bundle, but it is
Oh,
in my Coming Feast cookbook. So if you want to have that, I can send it to you afterwards, or everyone else you can ask.
could be. Yeah, but that's super, super awesome. For me, the fruit that I love is figs. I think that's my favorite. And
Oh,
then, yeah, I really like figs. And then maybe cherimoya, that's also, and mango, like those three. And yeah, like durian is also good, but it's not really available, at least in the Canary Islands, not really.
mm.
And veggies, I really love, I mean, if you count it as a veggie, avocado and tomato. And my favorite meal, always depends. I would also, what I did for like probably a year straight was zucchini noodles with tomato sauce. I did that. And then I had another phase where I was always doing cauliflower rice. That was another one. And yeah, and I think that the something sweet, which is the raw vegan banana rolls that you dehydrate. That is also in the raw vegan bundle, and that is also a favorite. Yeah.
Yeah, those are. I've not tried your specific recipe, but those rolls are so nice. So
Yeah.
yeah, and generally bananas. Bananas are also just so great, like because you can get them everywhere, and I feel like they
Yeah.
just make me so calm, relaxed, and happy. Ah, I love bananas.
Yeah, like they're I really appreciate them because they're for me the staple of my diet
Yeah.
usually because they're cheap and you always get them. Yeah. And Tessa also writes, yeah, I like cucumber and
Oh yeah.
watermelon.
I also have
Awesome.
phases. Yeah, it's funny because sometimes you just cannot get enough of a single meal or fruit.
Yeah,
So yeah.
yeah. So last question, just because I'm curious, what is your plan for the future? Do you want to travel again, or do you want to stay in Germany, or what is your plan?
So currently I still work here with the disabled people. That's like
Mm-hmm.
where I get half of my income from, and the other half is from my online business. And right now I don't feel it doesn't feel right yet to cut the ties to the stable income. I feel like it really calms me down so much. It makes me so relaxed about my business that
Yeah.
I want to keep that. So yeah, for now I'm just gonna stay here, but I'm actually probably going to Los Angeles in a couple of days, just for
No way.
weeks. Yeah, just for 2 weeks. So I think I'll always be like a traveler, and whenever I'm off, like I only work 4 days a month at my job, and the rest I'm
Mm-hmm.
just at home. So I still have the flexibility. But eventually, my dream is to also not live in Germany anymore, or at least not all the time. And Tessa, by the way, if you want to meet up in Los Angeles, we can hang out. But yeah, I don't feel like, at least in the winter time, I want to be here. I can already feel now that we're coming out of winter again. Like I don't know know, I just feel like a completely different person now that the summer is back, you know? And that's why I definitely feel like moving somewhere. I don't care where, just it needs to be warm, it needs to be good fruit, and it needs to be by the ocean.
Yeah,
Those are like the requirements. So, yeah.
very true.
What about you? Are you planning to live on the Canary Islands forever, or is it
Yeah.
just a temporary
Yeah, that's
thing?
my plan. I really, because I lived here before and then I went traveling and lived a little bit in Spain also, but I don't know, for me the Canary Islands they feel right. So I really want to settle here and also live the next years or maybe forever. Yeah, and now I'm in the process of actually trying to make it work, like registering and all of that, and I'm super overwhelmed, but yeah, step by step. And traveling, I don't have any travel plans. I will just go back to Germany in June for a little bit to see my family. But apart from that, I think just because I traveled so much the past years, so and now it was just so much, so many changes, like I just want more stability in my life. Yeah, but probably in some years I want to travel again. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. I can't believe we just talked an entire hour at a time. I always thank class with you, and I always love talking with you and connecting because
Same.
I feel
Same.
like you inspire me, or I feel like we inspire each other
Yeah.
in so many ways. So I'm
Yeah.
super grateful for the connection, and thank you for everyone who joined, especially Tessa, for all your amazing comments. So yeah, I gotta go, but it was so fun. So
Yeah.
let's do this again.
Thank you so much. Thank you
Yeah,
everyone
my
for
pleasure.
watching.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.